don't rush. Don't rush. The world is not ending. Prices are not going up. If they go up, also they'll come down. This thing, the home prices never fall.
It's a myth.
Yeah, but it's a very carefully cultivated myth. Bandra will be the Bandra of 25-26 will be the lower parallel of 2014-15.
Very interesting.
The biggest mistake people do when they buy a home actually early in Anupam is that they think selling a home is easy.
Oh my God. No, it's not. God. They actually think that.
Gurgaon is a bit like a Rajinikanth movie.
Okay.
So by that what I mean is that it's declared a hit before the movie releases.
Okay.
And it's very important for that to happen because like a theatre has houseful. A builder in NCR has to show sold out on day one. The amenities are what is it called? It's the item number in a project.
Okay.
So amenities are that thing that get you to buy a project and not use it, most of them. And in that, the best amenity is a swimming pool.
Obviously, always.
It gives you a very green, peaceful feel of the water, the sound of the water, and you see nobody inside the pool. Don't try to buy a house before 35.
Okay.
See, buying a house at 35. See, in the worldview that I have, which is debatable, of course, is that you should not get married too early, you should not buy a house too early. Because these are all long-term decisions. So make it when you fully know the ground reality and you know yourself well.
Hey there, and welcome to Paisa. I'm Anupam Gupta. Want to get smart with your money? We bring in top experts to show you where to invest, what financial trends to follow, and how to build lasting wealth. Ready to get smarter with your money? Hit that subscribe button for Paisa and check out our episodes. Folks, welcome to Paisa. I'm yours, Anupam Gupta. And on today's show, I have the one and only Vishal Bhargav to talk about real estate. Everybody watching this show, use the promo code to get a free 3 BHK in Bandra thanks to Vishal out here. I wish that was true, folks. But although Vishal owns most of Bombay, we do not have a free house for you. But Vishal, welcome to Paisa. Thank you finally for doing this for us here.
Thank you, Anupam. Anytime.
It is great to have you, man. Let's start with your journey. Because like we were talking before the recording, you've created this really impressive niche for yourself. Having an independent voice, putting your opinion out there, sometimes unpopular also. And just you're able to resonate with a lot of people on housing, right? Roti, kapda, makan. Roti, kapda तो लोगों ने भी mostly sort कर दिया है. मकान का तो अब तक भगवान मालिक है. Tell us about yourself. What's your journey been like?
So firstly, Anupam, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
My journey actually in real estate content began originally as a home buyer.
अरे वाह.
So I was looking to buy a home more than 10, 12 years back, 15 years back actually. And when I was searching for information, there was no information. Okay. Because of an absence of information, I did my own massive search at the ground level. And when you do those searches, you tend to experience so many things, you learn the finer points, and the market only tells you that. Because it's a very competitive market. So one guy will tell you, sir, pata hai, wo project mein wo problem hai. Then you realize, okay, haan, wo bhi angle hai. Then you go over there, that is wahan pe problem hai. So after I had done the purchase, and then when I fell into a zone where I was experimenting with my career, this became sort of a gig, which I thought I'll just start and maybe I'll do it on the side. Turned out that there is a big audience for the content that I was doing. And then just flowed through, and here I am from, starting out with one column to now doing a lot of content.
I read it every Mumbai. Now you're in Mumbai Mirror also out there. I read it like every week.
Thank you.
So, tenant. I want to just jump right into this here. Okay, let's combine like all the insights, learning, experiences and everything that you have. Let's go like totally clickbait. Rent or buy. Batao, chalo.
So, I know it's one of those polarizing debates.
Always.
See, I'm a believer actually in neither of them. Okay. For me, I look at rent or buy as rent before buy.
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've gone through that cycle myself as well as seeing many other people, and the amount of mistakes people make by perpetually renting, that is there, and the amount of mistakes people do by buying early, I've seen that also.
Yeah.
So the only way to do it actually, which allows you to go in with your eyes wide open, is you rent before buy. Try to reduce buying an under construction home, your odds.
Yeah.
Okay. For your most important purchase in your life, don't fall for brochures, and that too brochures which are so repetitive that I don't know how people get charmed by it.
Yeah.
Go with your eyes wide open. Uh, be very careful. Be very cautious. Unfortunately, it's a very it's one of those ecosystems where, as a buyer, you're all alone because the entire ecosystem is driven on you buying a home.
Yeah.
Everybody makes money when you buy a home.
Yeah,
So everybody will
always.
tell you that buy a home, buy a home, buy a home. You have to be able to be, dispassionate, know that you're alone in this fight. Be careful, calculate, do a lot of due diligence. I find it very strange when people tell me that, we bought a home just by going to a site. It's the height of stupidity.
Yeah.
Then then you have to be very lucky to succeed.
Yeah.
So eyes wide open, be cautious, rent before buy. Your chances of being disappointed there are the lowest.
Lowest. What do people get wrong here? Like when I speak to the newer generation, and I can say that because of the white hair on my head and the experiences that I've had, they just get very Microsoft Excel focused. Like मेरा ये P&L है, मेरा ये है, मेरा वो है, and rent is just, it's a no-brainer because I'm getting this yield, that yield. I think how your home is more of an emotional decision. Na? You just walk through some of the common pitfalls or common myths that people have on both sides when they're renting and when they're buying.
Okay. Just when they're renting, and the loudest proponents of renting, I realize that the guys who can't afford to buy a home.
Okay.
For buyers also, it's the same thing, that the loudest proponents of buying a home are the ones who have already bought a home.
Yeah.
For renting, I think most people make a mistake by staying on rent for too long. See, rental yield is a function of your rent today as well as your then prevailing house price. But if you're bought early, you have to go with the assumption that if you buy carefully, you buy in a growing market, prices can rise. I'm not saying prices
Will rise.
They can rise, just like how prices can fall. Okay. So don't stay on rent for too long. The risk for that is things like rent escalations, even though they might be temporary. Okay. If you're going to stay on rent for 15 years and 4-5 years of your
They
life,
add up.
it's two is issues like with the landlord. In markets like Mumbai, landlords are a lot more responsible. But if you go to Bangalore, things over there are crazy. Landlords take deposits of 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 10 months.
10 months deposit.
Wow. Now their counter argument is that if the tenant messes up the house, what do we do? But then tenants can mess up the house in Mumbai, NCR. It's more now a cultural thing. मुझे 8 महीना चाहिए. So for rent, you have to know that these issues will remain. For buying, most people make the mistake by buying a home too early.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a full ecosystem which includes your own family often, which says buy a home, buy a home, buy a home. Why? First, there is this, people have been brainwashed into thinking that home prices only rise. If you don't buy it today, next year the rate will be up 15%.
Who said?
Who said so? And the issue is that now this narrative has become so powerful that there are enough people who fall for that trap. And once you fall for the trap, even though you're a victim of it, you want to pretend it's a real narrative. You will tell people, next year price will rise. Nothing has gone up. But you are part of now that journey. So they buy a home early. When they buy a home early, they buy the wrong house because they buy a home maybe which is not as big as they want. It's too small, you outgrow it. You buy it in a location that you don't want because you want Bandra, but you can't afford it. So you go to Andheri and Borivali. Then you think, after 5 years, I'll sell it. The biggest mistake people do when they buy a home actually early in Anupam is that they think selling a home is easy.
Oh my God, no, it's not. God, they actually think that, huh?
Many of them, because, brokers also tell you, sir, का चला नहीं 3 साल के बाद बेच दो, flat का rate बढ़ जाएगा, then you can upgrade. It's the toughest thing to sell a home.
Imagine. Even the best of liquid of whatever it is.
Whatever liquid. Then if you're in an iconic property, iconic properties, invariably what happens is people from within the same building buy it. It doesn't come in the market only. But you take that 0.1% of the properties, it's a real trouble to sell.
And then there are the costs of selling also. People don't kind of realize that when you have to sell, if you're looking at a 110 price, जेब में तो 99 या 100 ही आने वाला है after putting, this cost and that cost and whatnot. Okay, the other thing that I've realized is rent or buy is a function of where you are on your income scale. वो जब आदमी जब middle class types होते हैं तो वो rent बोलने के लिए आसान है. But I've seen on Twitter only यार, Twitter's been there for like almost 15 years plus. एक ज़माने में people would say rent, this is that. The same guys are buying. And buying lavish, matlab, they are buying like next level places. I just think that, when a person hits a financial milestone in his life, right? Startup बेच दिया, bonus मिल गया, ये हो गया. The first thing that they do, they don't go to stock market and start an SIP. They buy a house.
True.
I don't know what your experience been.
No, I fully agree with you. Once you make that big bonanza, invariably you spend it on a house. Of course, now if you get a bonanza every 5 years, you'll not do it.
Obviously.
But once in 15 years, like we've seen after COVID, many people who were on the sidelines waiting for the last 10 years, 12 years, to buy a property. They finally got the chance because one was the income, two were the options, third was the market, all of it. Now, the cycle can go anyway. But when you have waited 15, 20 years, you want to spend that one thing, ki boss, now I'm here.
Because emotional attachment hai yaar. And honestly, the stock market sees 10, 15, 20% corrections, let's say once every 5 years, every 8 years or whatever. The only two corrections, at least in Bombay, that I have seen, significant, okay, was 2009 when the global financial crisis happened and you were getting property at throwaway prices, okay? And obviously COVID 2020. Okay, I'm excluding the pre-2003 part because the real estate market was very different then. Interest rates and loans were very, very different. But 2009 was one such moment. 2020 was one such moment. And I don't know what's happening now. What's your view about the property cycle? We'll get to that. I mean, let's start with Mumbai. This thing about, you've seen it develop and redevelop. You see a day when there will be a project that will sell at 10 lakh rupees a square foot.
It's possible.
Yeah,
See, 10 lakh rupees per
enough.
square feet, it's possible. See, 10 lakh per square feet is the sort of the highest rate in the world today, Hong Kong. Will Mumbai see it soon? I don't think so. But can we see it in the next...
In a lifetime.
In a lifetime.
Next 20, 30 years, let's say.
Yeah, I think before you and me go to the grave, we would have hit 10 lakh rupees for a few select properties. For a majority of them, it will still be what it is currently and maybe the same lower. But there'll be that iconic property.
I know. So tell me one thing. I'm sure you've had this question come up to you a lot in conversations and, online, offline, friends, family. Whenever you're moving around in Bombay, you can see this kind of supply coming up. Okay, you can see it in Low Parel, you can see it in Bandra, you can see it wherever you go. एक सवाल हमेशा आता है, ये खरीदेगा कौन? Can you just make us understand the demand and supply dynamics in this city? Because in my experience, I've always seen that prices to remain high. Supply आए नहीं आए demand है नहीं है, prices are always there. Leaving aside COVID and like I said, those one-off events. Just make us understand, is Bombay really rational? Okay, and once you're done with that, now I want to get to a completely wild market which you have cracked better than anybody else, Gurgaon. Okay, let's start with Bombay first. What are the demand supply dynamics here?
See, Mumbai's edge is in a way. So Mumbai has always been expensive, Anupam. It's not expensive in the last 10 years. If you go back even 200 years, when Mumbai became rich because of opium, and Britishers of the East India Company, they would come to Bombay thinking it'll be a big upgrade in their life. They would be surprised with how expensive it was. Because the inherent dynamics of cities like Mumbai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Singapore is all the same. What is it? You are in a landlocked small area where you can't grow. You become a trading and a financial hub which drives a lot of population.
Yeah.
Now, high population, very less land. Demand is a function of not just willingness to pay, but even the ability to pay. Yeah. What happens is when enough of a population comes, right, there's always somebody or other who is able to make something which creates a new industry altogether. That, like right now we see these startups, right? Now, whether they're profitable or unprofitable
that's a different
wrong.
Story.
People are making money in the valuation game. That time also, these valuation games have been on, like when we in the 1860s, cotton boom, which busted, etc. So, today, Mumbai's reality is actually, it's a very peculiar case at this point because for the first time, we're going to see a lot of supply, but there's a lot of self-extinguishing demand. I'll tell you what I mean.
I'll tell
you what that means. See, Anupam stays in Bandra. Now, in a normal course of events, you would look to upgrade within Bandra.
Of course.
But now with redevelopment being there, you are anyway getting a free flat,
Yeah.
which will meet your needs for next 10 years.
Correct.
So Anupam may have been a buyer in Bandra 3 years before, but today you will not be a buyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this, at one time, there are too many people who otherwise would have been in the market will no longer be in the market.
Okay.
Or they'll be in the market to buy some incremental area,
Sure.
so on and
Sure,
so forth.
Sure.
So what we will see, in my view, is that we will see this massive supply, which will struggle to get absorbed by most of the players. Now, by most of the players, I'll tell you what I mean in this, because there's a risk in real estate is that you become a victim of your own narrative.
Correct.
Now, have you ever seen in a newspaper that market weak, home prices to fall? Never.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
You'll not see a consultant say it, you'll not see in a newspaper. Because part of the allure of real estate is to keep feeding this myth that real estate is strong, because the moment a buyer feels it's weak, it will actually become weak.
Yeah.
Because it's a self-perpetuating prophecy.
Correct. Correct.
Just think of it this way, that in a normal project, 70% of the money comes from the buyer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a 100 crore project.
Yeah.
70 crores will come from the buyers like Anupam and Vishal.
Yeah.
Now, logically, that means you and me should be in a strength where we have bargaining power.
Correct. Yeah.
That bargaining power will only remain if we think that way. If the buyers keeps thinking, you know what, if I don't go now, next year it'll go up. It'll go up. Which ties into what is another issue in real estate is that, like you said, you have seen prices go down only twice.
Yeah.
But in many places, prices have gone down many times.
Yeah.
But a builder cannot advertise that.
Obviously.
Because the moment he advertises that, this entire well-cultivated myth gets exposed.
Yeah.
So even if the rate goes down 20%,
Yeah.
he will tell you optical price 3 crores. But come on table. Now you come on table, it becomes 2.3 crores.
See? Yeah. That's what. Only serious buyers.
Only serious buyers. Come on table. You hear every call, no? Come on table. अच्छा खासा negotiation हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
Now, to a person outside, he will say, "Arey boss, if you are willing to sell at 2.4 crore, advertise that, no?
Well, you can't do that.
But you can't do that."
Yeah.
So I think at this phase we will see it, this phase we will see it.
I'm just here because see, the thing is that, you can see the supply that's going to come up, like reclamation itself, Bandra reclamation, Hiranandani, Oberoi, Godrej, Adani, just name them. They're all lined up out there on that one stretch, I think, which is from the flyover till the sea link, right? And then you've got inside Bandra West where the Rustomjis will come at Bandstand and apparently set a price which will make everybody shocked and all that. Where is this going to go here? I mean, the same thing, that are there honestly enough buyers? Because from what I understand, the buyer pools, okay, number one, people who are staying in slightly far-flung western suburbs, the Kandivlis and the Andheris, who've become richer in life thanks to the economy growing, which it has, moving up to Bandra. Fair? Okay. Your startup people and all that. Okay. Then you've got people within Bandra itself who've made money and who want a better lifestyle, who want to move from a, slightly low-profile society to a high-profile project, because Bandra never, ever had a gated community. It place in tha utna. Okay. So what do you think is going to happen in a tiny suburb like Bandra? Because I feel it's kind of symptomatic of what's going to happen in the rest of Bombay. Tiny places going for such huge supply. What do you think is going to happen?
So I think Bandra will be the Bandra of 25-26 will be the lower parallel of 2014-15.
Very interesting.
Where you see a lot of supply, you see a lot of luxury supply.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you will have issues in terms of demand catching up. Okay. It's a classic bull market trap, right? You start thinking, itna demand hai, economy will grow 8-10%, let me make luxury. But luxury buyers, if you buy once, you don't buy after 5 years. No? There's no repetition. There's no repetitive buy.
Yeah.
You'll buy after 15 years maybe. So that will not happen. Then I think builders will have to find a way to manage the situation. Now, in many cases, I think what I gather is that many builders are already taking a step back.
What does that mean?
So see, builders. So okay, I'll break it down into two phases. One is that we have seen this very outlandish bidding war for acquiring new projects driven by stock market. Okay. Now, builders for a good amount of period were acquiring projects not to make profit, but to ensure that their market value goes up at the stock market, or they were looking to get listed. That was the only trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I think what's happened is that many of them realized that things have gone out of control. Some of them are walking back. They'll say we'll start later. Society then says I want to terminate. Okay. Things go, in an ideal world, everything goes smooth. The ones who are trapped, who get that realization in between, is where I think there'll be a bit of a fight. I don't see actually too many stalled projects,
Okay.
but I see many people discounting heavily. Earlier model was very simple. In case if I was not making money, I'll just stop the project and run away.
Correct.
Okay. Now, while RERA is not perfect, I think builders have also realized that you just can't abandon a project and leave buyers stranded.
Yeah.
So they will complete the project. Okay. They will sell it at a lower price. It'll be a poorly constructed project. Okay. But it'll be complete. So I think we will see two very different prices because of that. We'll see a desperate builder, which will be maybe I think 40-50% of the market,
Okay.
who will have one price. We will have the top guys who will have a price like this. Okay. So you could have prices of this on the same street of two buildings with a gap of 50%.
Wow. That might happen.
That might happen.
Okay.
Because it'll be a function of many things.
Yeah.
One is the plot size, the builder, the development, the strength of the capital.
Huh.
One will be a desperate guy. The other one will be, you know what, it's okay. If I'm not getting sales now, I'll sell later, I'll sell at completion. I have no money.
Correct.
But that will be a minority. So I think there'll be a lot of blood in terms of the capital values, what these guys are expecting. And that will make the market more rational. I'm a big supporter of actions where the market reacts quickly.
Yeah.
This time correction, which is one of the more abused words in real estate, it actually causes slow death.
Yeah.
Because फिर सबको लगता है अरे नहीं, it'll pick up next quarter, and they keep trying to kick the can till you're completely screwed.
Yeah. So then where are we in the cycle? Right? Because you've seen a lot of cycles. Where are we in the cycle right now?
So see, I think the peak was 23. Okay, 2023 was the peak in my view. That bonanza of the finance minister in terms of capital gains above 10 crores expired, and in that last in the quarter of March, luxury transactions were at their peak. After that, things started to slow. I think 24 was broadly weak. Okay, you won't believe that looking at the numbers, but the numbers have some challenges in terms of the how it is derived. I'll put it that way. And I think 25 has been weaker.
Okay.
Because buyers know that there is so much supply and there is so much expected supply.
Yeah.
So no one is in a rush to make a decision.
Yeah.
So we are at this deadlock now where the builder feels I should get a very high price. And the buyer says, if that's the case, I'll wait on.
Sure.
So we are at that deadlock.
What are builders telling you? You're having conversations with them. Let's say that what's their mood? Like if you say 23 was the peak and they were like really, really bullish in life, where are they now?
So builders, okay, I'll tell you that the smartest builders were not exuberant even in 2023. Okay. Because, see, I think after a while, people know the dynamics. So in 2021, I'll tell you, when after the stamp duty cut, after COVID, when the market took a pickup, that time also builders were like, this will be temporary.
Okay.
Nobody was jumping that time. Then I think what happened is it got that juice with the stock market that kept the engine going for another year.
Yeah.
Then the other juice after that came in where builders said, let me list only. And for that, they had to ensure that project acquisition very strong.
Correct.
So we are seeing a mismatch where there is intense competition for acquiring projects and there is intense competition for getting the buyer.
Yeah.
So I think builders are right now at that stage wherein they know things are tight, things are tough. I think they are not as worried at this point. The strong ones. The weak ones, in my experience, Anupam, they're always pessimistic.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're always pessimistic.
They're struggling any which way. Yeah.
And they also know that it just requires one push for the entire edifice to crumble.
Yeah.
So I think we are in a very polarized market. You'll get very different opinions, and I think you'll get the one opinion you should not listen to actually, I'll tell you, are the guys actually who are listed.
Very interesting.
Because I have never seen a listed developer say market is even stable. Even peak COVID, if somebody looks at the conference calls, peak COVID.
Yeah, no, you're right. Everybody says it's strong.
I was surprised at the peak COVID, lockdown, one listed developer, a top listed developer, still saying, yeah, very good, there's very good demand, NRI, this and that. So the one audience that are totally discount are the listed guys.
Okay.
They're a good source when you want to entertain yourself after Netflix. But barring that, listening to con calls of listed players is, I think, the biggest waste of time.
Always be bullish.
Always bullish.
Okay. What is the advice to someone watching this and who wants to buy a house in Bombay? Self-use, end-use, dream house, whatever it is. What's your advice to him or her watching this? कि भाई क्या करूँ मैं? अभी लूँ, रुकूँ, क्या करूँ? Because in my experience, what a lot of people kind of, or at least what I've seen is, waiting doesn't solve anything. Okay, at best you might get 10-20% off depending on how it is, and 10-20% off, believe me, is a significant amount when your buying cost is upwards of 1 crore, 2 crores at least. What's your advice to people now who want to buy a house in Bombay? Settle down.
See, if you want to buy a home, you have the money. See, there's no point trying to time the market.
In real estate, it is pointless, no?
It's pointless.
Yeah.
Don't try to time the market. The only way the only reason for knowing the market dynamics is to know that, okay, if there is more supply coming, which you think a project that, a location which you like is coming up, then wait.
Yeah.
But don't say, okay, because next year I expect prices to go down 30%, I'll hang on. If you have the money, okay, if you have the money, close the chapter, because I realize most people, when they don't buy a house, right, but it's there in the mind, you get so consumed with the buying process. Now, har weekend jaake dekhna hai. Your entire weekend activity becomes home search.
And then that just feeds into your psyche, and it just keeps on playing and playing and playing until you finally scratch that itch and say, chal, kharid liya.
Exactly.
Please make me understand what is this Gurgaon market है. कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है मुझे यार. What is this? Like, these billion-dollar projects get sold overnight. Photos of crowds in some show. It's wild, man. It's not like Bombay at all, right?
No. It's like how the Mumbai market was 20 years back. Okay.
Okay.
So that way in the cycle, Mumbai is about 20 years ahead. See, Gurgaon will also change. See, right now Gurgaon is at that stage where Gurgaon is a bit like a Rajinikanth movie.
Okay.
So by that, what I mean is that it's declared a hit before the movie releases.
Okay.
And it's very important for that to happen, because like a theater has houseful, a builder in NCR has to show sold out on day 1 or day 7 or day 20 or whatever, because they are not catering to Anupam, Vishal, the end user. They're catering to 2 different audiences.
Okay.
One is the investor, the other is the trader. Now, traders would be about, 50, 60, 70% of the market there.
But that's massive. And when you said, I haven't heard of a real estate trader. Hota kya real estate pe? Liya, becha.
Yeah.
But how does that work, man? I mean, that's...
See, Gurgaon, unlike Mumbai, where after you do a transaction, you pay stamp duty, you register it. Their registration happens on possession.
Oh my God. So you can keep on flipping.
You can keep flipping. And builders incentivize that. One of the pitches when they are trying to attract buyers is there is a term called first transfer free. Means you can do the first transfer without giving me any fee. And that is a very big selling point.
Hey, boss, what are you saying? Here in Bombay, if you buy a house where the project has not been transferred to society, builder to tumhara he charges transfer fee like anything.
So it's the other extreme. In Mumbai, the builder will not allow you to sell it in possession.
That's what.
There they incentivize you to get that early exit, because their idea is not to, they're not competing with their own stock in a way.
Okay.
They're trying to create this sort of I won't say myth. They're trying to create this narrative that prices will keep going up. And for that, you need to show there is so much demand. And how do you show demand?
Wow.
You show first they're sold out, you show a big audience, everybody sitting over here, everybody jumping, 4 cameras, yahan pe laga, this, that, and all.
God.
So it is, see, the purpose is that it has to give a person the belief that there is scarcity.
Okay.
Now, there is 2 ways of showing scarcity. One is actual scarcity.
Yeah.
2 is you create an artificial scarcity. Now, when you have shown that the outside the board, it is houseful or sold out, then where do you get in movie theaters, you get that you get blackmail. Now the black marketeer guy of movie theaters is replaced by the typical broker or a trader. But that guy will have 5 units. So as a forthcoming buyer, you think, okay, this guy has only 2 units and all. So there's a supply shortage created in the mind.
Wow.
Now, but see, these movies end badly all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not actually there only in India. Many developed markets also have it.
Okay.
And all of them go through the same crisis.
Achha, you said traders is like 50-60%. Investors are क्या scene है वहाँ पे फिर? Same thing or do
No,
they?
investors would be about 30%, I think. End user would be 10%.
How do they work? How do the investors work then?
They buy and they hold their possession. So the investor over there is typically like an investor in any other city. You buy now, you hold it in possession, and even after that, if you're getting good returns, it appreciates. But the investor depends a lot on the trader.
Okay.
Why? Because the trader is the one who can drive price appreciation.
Correct.
Because he has to create that hawa. So abhi today is the rate 3 crore. The trader's activity can make it 4 crore. Then the investor knows, okay, if I have to exit, my price is 4 crore.
Wild stuff, man. What's happening in tier 2, tier 3 cities there? क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे? Anything good? Anything exciting? Because, here a lot of development happening there. Roads connecting a lot of cities are now coming up. Last 4-5 years, I think the central government has spent a lot on roads and highways. Anything good that tier 2, tier 3 cities? I mean, beyond the metros and tier 1s?
So tier 2, I think some of them have actually seen very sharp price appreciation. So if you think Gurgaon is a crazy market, you should check out places like Indore.
Indore?
Obscenely speculative. Okay.
Of all the... Okay.
Okay. I think some markets which have not yet reached their potential, I think are places like Bhopal, Nasik. Locations which are in a way either a capital or close to a major capital.
Okay.
Those will invariably get attention at some point.
So
I think those deserve some merit. I think tier 2 markets, I'll not be surprised if you are betting on guys like Chandrababu Naidu, which cities they are focusing on. Because if you have the ability to create something out of scratch, then the curve can become like this.
Yeah. Hyderabad and all that are the kind of offices that have come up there are something that I don't think Bombay has seen for a very long time.
There's Gift City, by the way, which I went to for the first time.
हो क्या रहा है वहाँ पे? Because that story has been going on for like more than 10, 15, 20 years, but हो क्या रहा है वहाँ पे?
वहाँ पे वो शेर आया का बहुत हो गया. But I'll tell you what, Anupam, I think Gift is a city of the future. There are lots of offices, not too many employees, because Gujarat does not have that social infrastructure to attract a lot of migrants. Okay. Secondly, Gift City, if you go itself, it's not very big. It's 886 acres. So think of it like it is 1.5 times the size of Dharavi.
Okay.
It's a small place, but it'll keep expanding. Now, the big roadblock for them is that housing in Gift City is expensive. So what has happened is it's far away from Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Okay. So because of the high home prices, you are not able to attract migration from within Gujarat. And the lack of a social culture is discouraging people from outside Gujarat to come to Gift City.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, I think they've made some headway in terms of improving social infrastructure. The physical infrastructure, phenomenal. Yeah. That is one of the few cities where infrastructure has come much before real estate.
Normally it's the other way around.
And that's why Indian cities are a mess. This infrastructure will keep you going for the next 25 odd years.
Wow. Like what? I mean, do they have the metro? Do they have...
No. So inside the thing in terms of water, storage, sewage, all of it, it's very well planned setup.
So beyond connectivity. Correct.
Beyond connectivity.
Once you're inside, you're sorted.
Once sorted. You will not see issues in terms of, I think, flooding there, drainage.
Light chala gaya.
I think those will be sorted. It's a city of the future. It needs 1 or 2 very concerted actions. I think given that the government is here for the next 4 years, it will get that treatment. Then it's up to the ecosystem to really fight its way through. It can be done. I'm actually very optimistic on the rise of Gift City. वो शेर आया. I think शेर अभी आ सकता है.
Why was this not done in Bombay?
See, Bombay.
Politics.
I'm guessing it must be in politics, but see, if we want also, Mumbai has enough and more on its plate. And we should recognize that there are some inherent limitations in constructing world-class infrastructure in Mumbai.
Fair point. We tried with BKC, but whatever.
Yeah. So, there's no harm in giving opportunity to another city. And Gujarat, in a way, Bombay were the same.
Right? The same, yeah. I think they should learn from us, to create that social infra and have it more vibrant.
Gujarat should learn from Bombay how to create social infra. Bombay should learn from Gujarat how to create physical infrastructure.
Yeah. And Bangalore should learn from both, I guess.
Yeah.
Civic infra in our metro cities, okay, you tweet a lot about it, roads and this and that. Tell me, do we actually end up getting any value for a high rents, insane EMI. मतलब कुछ value निकलता भी है कि नहीं? See, I understand in Bombay everybody is bullish about coastal metro, blah blah. Of course, that infra was probably required for the last 20, 30, 40 years. Now it's all coming up bunched up together. But having said all of that, and let's talk in general, okay? Let's not talk about just about Bombay. Put in Delhi, put in Bangalore, put in Calcutta, put in all of India's largest cities, metro and tier 1. Do people really get any return on their rent or EMI?
See, the Indian cities, you pay the rent just to make more money and to escape the city, which is why gated communities command much superior rents versus the municipal corporation.
Yeah.
So I think there are two ways to now break down Indian cities. One is the city run by the municipal corporation. The second is the city run by the builder municipal corporation.
Okay.
Now the builder municipal corporation can command a price of 100. The non-builder can command a rate of 60, because this is a complete hellhole. So invariably what's happened is that, Indian cities are a victim of population and wealth. They have realized that you don't need to actually govern also, and yet money will come. Earlier, for any attracting investment, you had to make that effort. Let's build a good road. Now you have built a city got built where there are so many people coming in, which provide you support even without you actually governing.
Yeah.
So I'll not be bullish on the city system in India, because cities are a place where politicians get money, but not votes.
Yeah.
So you get votes from elsewhere,
Correct.
but you then make money over here.
Always.
So until we don't get to that mayoral system, like an elected mayor from that specific city who's accountable to them, we will keep being in that zone where the big top cities will be treated poorly.
Yeah. Fair point है. चलो India हो गया. Last question before we go into the break. ये दुबई में क्या हो रहा है? Every time I put on TV, IPL, ये वो earn 1%. There's this very smart, nice, dashing looking guy, and you're like, dude, इतना सारा rent कैसे बनता है? वो भी दुबई में such a nice. What is it यार?
See, Dubai is in a way. So see, Dubai is a city that actually people should emulate in terms of how to do things methodically, and get to create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Now, Dubai's success, if you ask me, is vision and second real estate. Because real estate is the biggest pie there. And everybody sells that story, and that story many people are willing to believe because things on the ground work. The same story is sold in Mumbai, Bangalore, Gurgaon.
But things just work there.
But nobody believes the story here, right?
Yeah.
We'll build a great road. We know it did not happen.
Yeah.
So there, I think it's a function that of it being like a part of India without being part of India. So a lot of people who are Indians as well as Europeans, it's become like that second home, or maybe which can become a first home soon. How much of it is speculation is worth seeing, because you see many towers where I won't call them ghost towns, but clearly there is a lot of buyer activity and there's not as much resident activity. You can actually do the same thing like you're doing in Gurgaon with a small amount. You buy multiple units and hope for an exit.
Okay.
But if you get stuck in between, what happens?
You're stuck.
You're stuck.
Oh, what are yields out there?
5%, 5.5% is one of the highest yields that way.
But probably you're playing the currency or what, I don't know. Maybe something in your favor comes from there.
Yeah, comes in favor. And I think quality of development is actually very good there.
Yeah. And I guess the system is more sorted and settled, and it's more transparent. It's more easy to... What do you think of the Middle East in general? And just let me give you some context in this, because this is a topic that's come up a lot in the last few years of people wanting to leave India. Okay? Hey, थोड़े बहुत ऐसे लोग जिनको whatever, maybe they're tired of the potholes, but tired of this and that. And it's not new. People have been wanting to leave India for better career opportunities since ages. Back in the day, it used to be Gulf, as it was called. Or if you're someone who's working for a multinational, you'd go to Hong Kong, Singapore. US has been an all-time favorite anyway. Now, apparently, what I hear is that Hong Kong has become China. So वैसे भी Singapore is too expensive. UK, US का तो खैर less said the better. मतलब they're dealing with things that I don't think that we've seen for a very long time. Middle East is coming up a lot. RAK, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. What do you think? Does that actually present something as a viable alternative for anyone who's who's considering, maybe for whatever reason? And you see a lot of celebs doing this. A lot of celebs have shifted base and gone there. What do you think?
See, I think most of the regions in Middle East want to emulate Dubai. They've seen what Dubai has been able to do. The challenge is that most of Middle East has not been able to create the social infrastructure and that openness
That
that Dubai has done.
Yeah.
So, in fact, uh, I had a builder tell me one very interesting analogy when we were talking about Ahmedabad. So he said, Vishal, Ahmedabad is a bit like Saudi Arabia. So what does that mean? He said, see, you have a lot of jobs there. You go there for employment, make money. But you don't have a lifestyle there.
Correct.
For lifestyle, you have to go to Dubai.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ahmedabad. The key question is, can it make the migration from being the Indian Saudi to Indian Dubai?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the regions are trying to do it. See, it's doable. Middle East has been the surprise pack in the last 5-6 years in terms of opening itself up. While others have gone into a shell, they've opened themselves up. There's a lot of wealth that is willing to pour. I don't know how many people from India actually will be okay going to the non-Dubai regions. Okay.
Okay.
See, Dubai is successful not just because it's Dubai.
There's a whole list of reasons for that.
It's a whole package.
Historically, they've been doing this now for.
So others have to really put their effort through. In between, there was that craze of Doha.
Correct. Yeah. World Cup. Yeah.
World Cup. तो सब लोग वहाँ पे गए थे. Now that's also getting ironed out. You actually see the amount of supply overhang over there. Everybody built with the anticipation of football, and things are completely.
Yeah.
You'll feel like you're in. You're gonna head all the way Panvel.
I know. Is Bombay still the best city in India? अभी एक बीच में ना एक फेज आ गया था where and I myself have tweeted a lot about this कि भाई बॉम्बे में अभी पनिशमेंट पोस्टिंग बोलते हैं. Okay? बिकॉज कोई अगर दिल्ली से आ रहा है तो यार अभी यहाँ क्या करूँगा मैं, यहाँ के घर का साइज तो कुछ मिलता नहीं है. बैंगलोर से आ रहे तो आई क्यों रहा है. ओके चेन्नई कोलकाता तो चलो छोड़ दो, बट there was a time where I would think that Bombay has this punishment posting tag along with it because there was a lot of negativity and all around it for justifiable reasons. Now in the last 2 years, the kind of infra that's come up, suddenly it's, what do you think? If out of all the cities in India, does Bombay still offer like the best, best is not the right word, least worst, okay? Because this has become a thing now. Least worst bolna chahiye, best nahi bolna chahiye, because what do you think?
So, okay, that's an interesting question. See, you're right. I think until 4 or 5 years back, the view was Mumbai was going the way of Calcutta. Now, I won't say, see, at one time, Mumbai had too many things going in favor.
Yeah.
And other cities had nothing.
Yeah.
20 years back, there was like Mumbai was Amitabh Bachchan and everybody else was way.
Whoever,
Now they've caught up. I'll say that now Mumbai is at least priming itself for being a contender for a decent life in comparison to other cities. Delhi, Gurgaon has pollution issues, many parts undeveloped. Bangalore has crazy traffic. So Calcutta is whatever it is. So I'll not say that it is the best city or the least worst city. I'll put it that Mumbai still works for people, there's a very different type of person who wants to come to Mumbai. And Mumbai ke guy cannot adjust anywhere else after that.
That I agree,
So I think what's going to happen is that as long as Mumbai is able to hold itself as that energetic vibe,
24/7,
I think it will still be a place to be in. Costs will still be high. You have to hope that others become expensive so you have a competitive advantage. For the time being, I was thinking that Gurgaon would give Mumbai a chance to...
I know, but it's not. I mean, there are still so many issues in Gurgaon. The cost differential is always there, but I don't know, the median age of India is what, 28? If you're young, okay, it's been a while since I was young. What do you need? You need a vibrant city, multicultural. You need places where you can go on the weekend, on the weekday, 24/7. You need some, F&B and that energy. I don't know any other city that can. Bangalore maybe comes a little bit close.
So Bangalore has its own vibe, means it has one type of audience, the one that likes breweries and all, which is not there in places like Mumbai. Gurgaon, actually, I was very bullish on it until about...
They've got a great... if you look at Cyber Hub.
Cyber City and all in Gurgaon.
Great place.
Yeah. See, Gurgaon, I had a lot of hopes on it, actually, Notwithstanding what many people in Gurgaon say that they accuse me of hating Gurgaon. I was actually very fond of Gurgaon 3 years back because I actually felt that the cost differential would ensure a lot of young people who wanted to make a name for themselves, a career, they would choose Gurgaon as a place. Now those buggers have priced themselves out so quickly that the guy who wanted to go there cannot go there. Or if he goes there, he has second thoughts, should I go there or should I go to Bangalore, this and that. So they've shot themselves in the foot. So at this moment, I'll say it's a race to the bottom.
Race to the bottom. See, listen, मेरा फंडा बहुत simple है यार. There are two things that no other city, well, maybe a few cities can give, cannot. I mean, that Bombay's main strengths ना मेरे हिसाब से तो दो ही है. एक तो sea है. That no other city can. You know, I mean, people who come from Delhi and Gurgaon, I see them like when they sit at a cart road or a marine type, they can't handle it. To see that much of water, मतलब एक अलग ही कुछ, and to know that is 24/7. Like you can even take off, do whatever you want. That's there. And second is vada pav. I'm sorry, but that's the game is over out there. Please put in your votes and thoughts for that. But we're going to take a small break out there. On the other side, we're going to talk about specific advice on stuff like how to buy a house, how to rent, etc., etc. Don't go anywhere. Exciting episode. We will be right back.
Did you know Indians report nearly 800 cases of online financial fraud every day, which has resulted in losses exceeding 1,000 crores in the last 5 years? To keep you safe from such fraud, I am starting my newest podcast series, Conversation with Vigilante, an initiative by HDFC Bank. In every episode, I will feature special guests who can share expert insights on the different types of fraud, their modus operandi, and how you can protect your money. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and don't forget to tune into Conversation with Vigilante. Catch the episodes on all audio streaming platforms and V for Vigilante YouTube channel.
And welcome back. चलो बेचारे, let's get into some real specific advice. अभी सबका मतलब जिनका ठोकना था ठोक दिया, ये शेयर वो शेयर, ये बिल्डर वो बिल्डर. Let's start with how to choose a house to stay. What should you look at a project, at a builder, at a location? I think these are the only three things. I'm not even saying budget. Okay, budget to मेरे ख्याल से वो तो whatever. But how do you list, rank, and what's your checklist for our audience? This is home to buy forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
So, see, for me, location. Okay, so there are two things. One is a location, one is an address. Okay.
One is location, one is address. It's very interesting. Tell me more.
And there's actually a fine difference in it. So a location is a good location. Is a bit like, think of it like Bandra reclamation. Very well connected.
Very well connected,
Okay.
yeah.
From all sides, you can get in and out from wherever you want to be. It's a good location.
Yeah.
But is it a good address? In Bandra, people say, it's okay, reclamation, right? What's a good address? Pali Hill.
Okay, I knew that was coming. Bandstand, Carter Road. Yeah, okay.
The addresses. There's a state symbol. The best example of a good location but bad address is Dharavi. Look at the location of Dharavi.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Western Express Highway, Eastern Express Highway, BKC, metro station, railway station, everything.
Yeah.
But Anupam and Vishal will not say, I want to stay at Dharavi.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point.
So you have to, in my view, address is a more vanity play.
Yeah.
Because a good location invariably becomes an address at some point of time. So look for a location which meets your needs in terms of your office, for your kids' school, your recreation, your social life. If you are not getting the location, then you have to go with the assumption, I am going to a gated community where the builder provides me everything inside. Once you have chosen your location that you want to be in, look at the type of projects. And I recommend everybody do not buy a home without seeing at least 10 projects. Because in those 10 projects will be your education as to what are the faults in other projects which you should know. So even if you're not looking to buy, if it's in your neighborhood which you're eyeing, go to that guy. That guy might give you some input on the project that you haven't thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
A wonderful point. Wonderful. I know. I mean, I guess you start with location because that's the one that is in your control. You know where to stay. Okay. Then you come to
the project and see multiple of them. Third, see the apartments. Okay. Be very careful when you're buying an apartment under construction. There are two ways of you knowing your flat configuration. One is a sample flat, which is deceptive. Okay. The 3 or 4 things you have to be very careful in a sample flat. It gives you a sense that the house is bigger than normal because they do the there are no doors in the house. The floor to ceiling is high. Okay, it has only windows. So you get the optical feel that it's a big house, and it's not. The bed is very small, so you feel the bedroom is big. All those things. You have to be very clear as to what sides of a house you're looking at. Okay, I recommend anybody, if you're doing a 2-bedroom, anything less than 650 square feet, you will outgrow it very soon. Okay, 652 BHK carpet area should be your minimum. In that also, a good well-planned 650 square feet and a badly planned 650 is a big difference. Okay, how much wastage is there, so on and so forth. Once you have done that, all this eventually boils down to the guy who's going to be constructing, giving it to you.
Correct.
Now, there's one way of knowing the right builder. And it's partly brand, but not only brand. You have to know what he's done previously and actually visit the project. There are many branded builders today who have never delivered a single project, but they're a brand. Okay. And 2, you have to know who his lenders are.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Because you do not know the financial caliber of the builder for that project. You've heard he's a brand. हाँ, अब लोग broker बोल रहे हैं, हाँ, बहुत पैसा है इसके पास, पता है उसका बाप कौन है, कौन उसका दोस्त है, यहाँ से funding है. You have to know who his lender is.
How do I find that out? Brochure?
No, not brochure. This is a job of market intelligence, but it should be something you should be willing to do.
Okay.
Because that lender and what rate he's charging will tell you how risky the builder is.
Oh, okay. Sure. Go on, please.
So you piggy bank on the due diligence done by the lender to know how risky it is. If the range is say 10% interest rate to 20%, and you're going to a builder who's paying 18%, you have to know that the lender sees something risky in him. You assume the same risk. And lastly, don't buy homes which are, this buying early in the project also. Because in places like Mumbai, the delivery cycle is 6 years, 7 years. Now, the rule says, RERA rules say that if you construct up to plinth, which is the ground floor, the builder can ask 45% of the value of the house from you.
Correct.
So if it's a 5 crore house, you are paying 2.25 crore.
2.5, yeah.
And you're getting it after 6 years.
Yeah.
So be very careful in terms of knowing the value of your capital, the cost of your capital when you're buying early. Don't fall for this notion which people tell you, only if you go early will you get that inventory of your choice. Boss, there's so much of supply there. There are 10 towers coming everywhere. There will be always supply.
Yeah.
Because that speech has remained the same. That supply inventory आपका choice का मिलेगा नहीं. That was good at a time when construction was very limited. You had only 100 buildings.
And redev also
now you have 1,000 buildings of 50 floors.
Everywhere, yeah. Amenities. Do you think they make a difference?
See, amenities are the, what is it called? It's the item number in a project.
Okay.
So amenities are like, are that thing that get you to buy a project and not use it, most of them. And in that, the best amenity is a swimming pool.
Obviously, always.
It gives you a very green, peaceful feel of the water, the sound of the water, and you see nobody inside the pool.
Every project every building I've gone to swimming pools, when I actually go there, hey, kaun hai yaar? Log hi nahi hai wahan pe.
Pigeons are there. Pigeons are there next to the pool.
Okay.
But it makes a deal happen. Because that is playing on the psychological desire of the buyer. Even though he knows he'll not use it, he has that ambition, अरे हाँ खरीद के ना बच्चे यहाँ पे स्विमिंग करेंगे, हम लोग सीखेंगे, संडे आएंगे यहाँ पे, साइड पे अगर बियर मिलेगा वो करेंगे. It never happens. But amenity, you have to know what type of amenities you want. I will any day prefer a project which has less amenities, but amenities of my use. Okay. It doesn't need to have,
tennis court,
50 amenities. This project is 70. Have 5, but 5 which are usable. Because more amenities means more maintenance. And buyers should also know what is going to be your maintenance post-possession. That is the most underrated risk today, in my view, that buyers take.
वो bill आता है तो सब लोग crib करते हैं ना. What happens is that I think when you're buying a house, actually the first purchase, the builder usually loads about 1 year, 2 years of maintenance along, which is fine. But then 2 years later, when the bills are setting, people then tend to wake up in life.
And then they think that, boss, we don't need these many amenities. The maintenance is very high. Because
So, obviously. What do you think about builders? Have they become a brand on their own? You're speaking about how one should, look at the lenders to the builder. But at least I've seen that this happened in the last 20 years. Like if you go back to the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the builder में कोई brand नहीं हुआ करता था. Okay, maybe there would be a few, maybe like a Lokhandwala who developed the project there in Andheri, in Warsaw. But in the last 5-10 years, I've seen that builders have become a brand like an FMCG thing. ये builder का project तो ये तो भाई premium पे चलता ही है. How sustainable, or rather how believable is that, and should that also be a factor for someone buying a house? Like XYZ builder है, great reputation, material use अच्छा करता है, leakage नहीं होता है, amenities अच्छा होता है, नाम पे बिकता है. It's like saying, you buy a Maruti versus you buy a lower brand, resell made helps you. You think that is something that's changed?
See, I think it's a phase. I don't know. I don't think it's a permanent phase. I think everybody realized that being a brand helps in leverage with all stakeholders, from the lender to the buyer to the contractor, everybody. So everybody is making that effort to create a brand about themselves. But brands get built, with consistent delivery and quality delivery. One thing, unfortunately, what I noticed is that many branded developers have such terrible quality that the buyer is paying a big premium to the branded builder at under construction, but the product he gets is of a tier 2 guy. That's the worst of both worlds.
I don't know why that happens. I thought that builders take building house quality seriously, but there are so many videos out there about how walls are weak and MDF use kya, ye kya. Why? I mean, why would they want to ruin their own brand?
So I think part of it. So there are two things. And one I genuinely think is that most builders have concluded that a home buyer in India is satisfied with mere delivery.
अच्छा, time पे देते तो काफी है.
So in that also, I think there are 3 or 4 phases. One is late delivery. One is delivery. Then is quality delivery. Okay. Now the guys who can do quality delivery and timely delivery, they're very, very, very few. Okay. So few that I can count on one hand and will not complete.
Wow.
Okay. So the guy who does quality invariably does not do timely.
Okay.
And the guy who does timely does not do quality.
Okay. Yeah.
So for most builders, I think they have come to the conclusion that because the benchmark in expectation for a buyer is very low, you deliver the apartment, that's an achievement. So I don't think that will change soon. Brands will get built, but they'll have to be cautious. The difference I see with the positive of being a brand, I think, is that he has to be very careful in dealing with buyers. Because brands get crushed in no time. Like the example that we see on YouTube, that invariably it reaches the prospective buyer.
Yeah.
So it's a phase.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think the true brands will be the guys who actually continue to focus on product.
Yeah.
Like a few days back, I was at Mindspace, in Airoli, and K. Raheja, a below the radar player, right? Like when you talk about builders, top of mind recall, while Raheja's everywhere, is like a Oberoi, a Lodha, a Godrej.
Always.
But if you ask me, it's brands like those, understated, but get the job done.
Yeah. Oh, for ages. Consistently.
40,
without
50.
creating hua.
Without creating hua.
Yeah.
Some of the best buildings of Bandra.
Yeah, Rahejas. Yeah.
And some of them are by people you and me have never heard of.
Yeah.
But they've constructed such good buildings. I was yesterday at a building in Bandstand called Seabird by one player called Tarachand Punjabi.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was shocked. It said, the board outside said 1971.
Yeah.
That development will beat any development that a guy is doing in 2025.
Yeah, I know. And they are like पुराने ज़माने का है, big 3 BHKs, big halls, big rooms. मतलब एकदम फुर्सत में बना है builder ने.
I frankly don't know where they are now. I would have wished that they stayed in the business and constructed more. But
you see a lot of them. I mean, and you see them only in those hi-fi areas like a Pali Hill, a Bandstand, a Cart Road. And buying those houses was expensive then, is expensive now also. And their quality 50 years, 71 is what? More than 50 years and they're still... Okay, how do you choose a house on rent? Different dynamics, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So rent, be very careful. I think there your primary thing has to be, you're looking only at your needs. Most likely, I'm assuming if you're renting, you're a guy who's single or you're a couple. You don't have kids. Once you have kids, you want to anchor to a location. So in that regard, choose a place close to your workplace. Choose a place which has social infra close to you. Social infra matters the most there. Okay, rent, connectivity, that takes precedence over anything else actually. Don't, one mistake people do in renting is that they make up their mind मुझे rent ही करना है. So they say let's live life to the fullest. So many of them pay almost 50% of the income in rent. That is suicide.
50%, come on, how can you? Just because you want to enjoy life and be at a marquee place or location or whatever.
Yeah, the most common place I see that is actually Bandra.
मतलब
लोग को लगता है ना मुझे Bandra में रहना. I'll do anything in Bandra. मुझे बस Bandra में रहना है.
Hats off to the Instagram influencers. Thank you for boosting the rents. You ever thought of doing a show called The Landlord? So tenant का show है, do a show called The Landlord. ना landlord का perspective भी ना कभी life में.
No, actually, it's a suggestion that people have given, and I've actually thought about it because many times what happens is that from tenants you get their side of the story, not the landlord side. So it's something that can be done. I don't know whether there's an audience for it. Real estate, but the trickiest part is that how do you create an audience for content?
Anyone who knows that it's you, yaar. Come on. I can't think of anybody else, who's of your vintage, of your experience, who's brought this awareness in real estate.
Yeah, so see, one part is awareness. See, the thing is, second part is showing glamorous house, which people like, right? Now, the thing is 20 crore house, as you said at the start, right?
New place and what
50 crores, 100 crores and all. Now, those things I can't do. So, the idea is to focus a lot on the script. Because unlike most others, my weakness in content is that I can't get celebrities on my show and I can't sell flats. So the only thing that sells with my content is me and my scripting. So on that I have to be very clear ki chalega, nahi chalega, and you have many times these existential questions. Nahi chalega, chhod de, let it be.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the one factor that always goes in your mind when you are a tenant, and I've also stayed on rent, you've also stayed on rent, I'm sure, is your equation with the landlord. That makes such a big difference. And I don't know about other cities, but I do know in Bombay, it's a coin toss. You get a good landlord, you don't get a good landlord. You get landlords who accommodate you. And then from the landlord's perspective, you get tenants की मेरा bulb खराब हो गया, rent में थोड़ा देख लो, geyser खराब. Hey boss, come on, यार. The agreement says that. But I just feel that that's one part where I know so many people, thanks to good landlords, have stayed on rent for a very long period of time for genuine reasons. They can't afford a house or they have other priorities in life. But landlords make a very big difference. What do you think?
Very big difference. Landlords, tenants both make a difference. I've seen people pay 20% to a good landlord, and I've seen landlords give a 20% discount to tenants for being a good tenant. See, because nobody wants too much of jhamela here and there,
because
right?
the law isn't on either one side, and you don't want to use courts and lawyers for any such thing. Na?
So if you get a good tenant or a good landlord, I always recommend people. I mean, in the last 2-3 years, what's happened is because the redevelopment rents have gone up and landlords have chased the highest tenant. Invariably, they'll learn, some of them, that there's no point being that greedy. One thing you get stuck, no? You actually realize that the legal system is so broken, a guy will stay in your house, not pay you rent, and you can't do anything.
That's the last thing you want.
So so I agree with you. Landlord tenants matter a lot.
And I heard, and this is freaked out. I remember taking a house on rent back in 2009. वो time पे system नहीं था. These days तो तुम्हारा profile बनता है यार. ये file आता है, photo, and it's like your resume. I'm like, dude, seriously? Name, address, marital status, job. I have been rejected once by his landlord because I was not a salaried employee. But ठीक है यार. But I think it's a good thing. It should become a little bit more formalized. एक ज़माने में तो the landlord and the tenant would just have some kind of informal agreement, put in the leave-in license, and you're done. Maybe and I've heard Bangalore is a more extreme market. मतलब वहाँ पे तो कुछ और ही अलग ही game चलता है वहाँ पे.
LinkedIn profile, income tax return, सब कुछ वो सब.
What?
Yeah. So one Bangalore tenant told me a very good story. He said कि Vishal, it's easier to get a girl to get married than to get a home on rent in Bangalore.
अरे यार, come on, seriously.
So I don't know whether he was complimenting himself or not, but I think I remember those are something connected to that, because there it was complete madness. This I'm talking 23 and 24 starting.
Okay.
Since then things have of course gone down pretty sharply because of the type of layoffs that have happened in Bangalore. But that time they was at peak, and there also just to know how the psychology of an ecosystem works. If you look at it, that time Bangalore did not see too many new tenants. But rents rose like this. So it was like a small cap stock where the same number of buyers were there, but each one jumping over the other because there was this artificial scarcity created. So landlord tenants, I think there'll be some tool that should come out where landlords can judge the tenant and the tenant can judge the landlord, like a Sybil. We have like a rating system where people will know, if I'm going to be renting with this one, he's my landlord, what did his last 3 tenants rate him as?
Not
and
bad.
Same thing for landlords.
Areva, sounds like a good thing. Okay. See, the good part about you is that you understand how finances also work. You've been an analyst in the past also. How does one plan for buying a house? I mean, a financial plan, in your view, I don't know, what's the right age to start considering to buy a house and building up to it? Is that possible? How would you say people should go about doing it?
I think don't try to buy a house before 35.
Okay.
See, buying a house at 35. See, in the worldview that I have, which is debatable, of course, is that you should not get married too early. You should not buy a house too early, because these are all long-term decisions. So make it when you fully know the ground reality and you know yourself well. So buy it only after the age of 35. I think we spoke once before on this, my formula of 5, 20, 30, 40 when you're buying a home.
Yeah.
Make sure that the value of the house should not exceed 5 times your annual income. Your tenure should not be more than 20 years
Of your loan.
of your loan. 30% down payment you must do. The reason I say that is because many times you get tempted to buy a house because there's a scheme that pay 10% now and remaining on possession and so on and so forth. You think, theek hai, let me buy a house for the happiness.
Yeah.
But then servicing that loan becomes completely crazy, and the extra payment on top of that. And 40%.
Yeah.
If your EMI exceeds more than 40% of your monthly income, you're in trouble. So your dynamics have to be structured within that. But start late, start cautiously, rent preferably first in that same premises. You have the option now with the rise of gated communities. I'm renting in Tower 1 and I'm then buying in Tower 8.
Supply. Well, there is enough choices out there. Yeah.
The good thing about India today, and especially Mumbai, is that there is so much of FSI that you will always see supply coming. तो छोटा सा जगह यहाँ पे भी आ जाएगा ना, एक बिल्डिंग बना देगा कोई 20 माले का. So don't rush. The only actually 1-2 words thing to every buyer: don't rush. Don't rush. The world is not ending. Prices are not going up. If they go up, also they'll come down. This thing, the home prices never fall.
It's a myth.
But it's a very carefully cultivated myth. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. 5, 20, 30, 40. 5 stands for
Annual income, 5 times your annual
5 times your annual income. 20 stands for
loan tenure,
30 stands for
down payment at least.
and 40 stands for
The EMI.
40% as a percentage of your income. Okay, fantastic. Okay, how do you identify? So let's move to the investment side of real estate, right? How do you identify investment opportunities early? Okay, like for example, the new airport in Mumbai, NMIA, driving up real estate prices. So is there any way to कि infra आ रहा है तो price बढ़ेगा तो land ले लो, anything for someone who's more aggressive, who's more hands-on? I remember like back in the day, in the 2000s, a lot of IT people, banking people would get together in groups, pick up land and do this aggressive stuff for their risk, which is fine. You think that still works today? Like you can identify कि ठीक है, government announced यहाँ पे project आने वाला है तो slowly start getting an exposure there?
So I don't think you should rely that much on the government announcement, because invariably what happens in a society like ours, when by the time the government is announced, a lot of action on the prices already happened. Because like in your stock market lingo, there's insider information. There is a different degree of insider information when it comes to land or infrastructure projects. Because the normal process, it doesn't hold true all the time, is that first the land is cornered by a select set of players, then it's announced. So by the time it gets announced, a large part of it has been factored.
Correct.
You have to go with the assumption that if you're buying, is that can the development of it have such a disproportionate impact that even this early run in the price is good enough.
Correct.
Now for that you need to make sure that infrastructure comes in, but more than infrastructure, housing comes in and social infra comes in.
Sure.
In India, the cycle is first homes come, then infrastructure comes, and then social infra comes. Okay, that's the typical cycle. Example, Thane. Okay? Thane, we see so many homes.
Yeah.
Any and every builder is there. Do you see offices? No. Very, very limited. The supporting infra, there's nothing much to speak about.
Yeah.
Imagine Thane is one of the top 5 markets of India. And can you guess how many railway stations are there in Thane?
There's Thane itself.
Just one.
That way. Fair enough. Yeah.
So the entire location of Thane, which has a huge population, so many housing projects, it's being serviced by one railway station.
I know. Or you compare it to something like a Bandra Santa Cruz. 3 railway stations within the span of...
Exactly.
Fair point.
So then after the physical infrastructure comes in, connectivity, etc., then comes social infrastructure.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to take a call as to which location can become that. Now, since you gave the example, New Navi Mumbai Airport, that story is going on for 20 years. And investors have got in. And in fact, I heard one case of a guy who bought for investment, but now his building is going for redevelopment. So
that old.
that old.
That's a lottery lag gaya, yeah.
So he bought in, I think 2001 or something.
Not
Not very close to the airport.
हाँ.
But that time, even things at Belapur
हाँ.
used to be sold with the thought of airport
हाँ.
aane wala hai. So now they're talking about redevelopment already. So I think one difference which people can do, in my view, if you're buying land, be very clear as to where you see migration happen.
That's interesting.
And there are patches that are always visible. Okay. Now, if you ask me, there is like a location, Naigaon. Okay. That is, it's a very, so it's after Borivali,
Yeah.
three stations are. It has rates that are lower than stations that come after that. Vasai, like Vasai.
Oh, okay.
So Naigaon is here, then Vasai is here. But rates of Vasai are almost 40% higher than Naigaon.
Which is not how things normally are.
Normally it goes this way, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know, if I was to give an analogy of in Mumbai, is there something in Mumbai which has this sort of a gap? No. In Mumbai, it's more or less got protected to an extent. So there, you know what is holding it back. Okay. Or Bhiwandi and Thane. Bhiwandi and Kalyan. Okay. There is Thane. After that is Bhiwandi. Then after that is Kalyan.
Correct.
Now you would logically think that Kalyan rate should be cheaper than Bhiwandi.
Yeah, obviously.
But Bhiwandi is much cheaper than Kalyan.
Okay.
Now that is there. It's low for a certain reason.
Sure.
The question is, can they part of right now locations like Bhiwandi are an okay location but a very bad address?
Yeah.
Can that good location become a respectable address?
So that's a big play.
That is the play you got to do. And that happens through gentrification. Like I said about reclamation, right?
Yeah.
Reclamation, in my view, in 5, 7, 10 years, it will become a very happening area because its inherent strengths are there.
Location hai, infra hai,
Sea view hai. Now Mr. Adani will create his complex over here. There'll probably be a hotel there to liven it up, or a school or whatever. So that area will transform. So your bet always has to be for real estate investment. Migration.
Very interesting. तो थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा. For someone who doesn't have the resources, last question. For someone who doesn't have that kind of resource, time, whatever it is, smaller ticket size, how does one, play this real estate story, right? Because एक ज़माने में तो you'd probably buy the stocks of some real estate developer. That was a space where there weren't even many listed development plays. I think, what was it? The 2000s when you had Unitech listing, you had DLF listing. There was a very famous MR IPO which never happened only. Still not happened, by the way. And then in the last 4-5 years, I think a lot of new players. But those are developers. You think REITs offer anything here?
So REITs had an issue in terms of regulation, and which I think finally has found itself to be eliminated. So REITs, I think, are a better option than the other model of fractional ownership.
Yeah.
REITs are liquid. Fractional does not have the benefit of it being liquid, and
Tell me the difference between the two. See, fractional, I think, is still an unregulated market. There are platforms that are offering it, but the platforms are more on tech, right? So actually, this is a good time to explain to our audience what is fractional ownership.
So fractional ownership is like, okay, we are having a pizza. Okay. Now, I don't want to eat the entire pizza. I just want a slice of it.
Okay.
So like me, I take one slice, you take one slice, he takes one slice, so on and so forth.
Sure.
So we become, in a way, 1% owners of that, like the pizza, 1% owners of the property. In return, we will get rental every month.
Okay.
The term of the issues is that you already have a pre-existing lease.
Sure.
Okay? So a player will raise money. He will acquire an asset, an office space, which already has a tenant. So after you buy it, on day one, the tenant is paying his rent, just that the owner has changed.
Yeah.
Issue with this is liquidity. Anupam wants to sell. He has to choose only among us or outside. It's like selling unlisted share. You can't do it. Invariably, if you are dependent so much on that, if the tenant stops paying or he has to vacate, then what impact it has?
वो risk मेरा है.
REIT has the advantage, it's liquid.
Yeah.
If I don't trust the story, sell it tomorrow, get out. The whatever negative in that regard is that when you're betting on a REIT, you're betting on all his assets. So his one asset will be doing well, one will be doing poorly. In the fractional, you can be very specific that this asset in this building in Bandra, this will always remain full. Okay. His other asset, I don't care. I'm not betting over that.
Correct.
So REITs, I think, are a good model and the type of options that we have today.
What are the yields right now on REITs that are there in the market? What, 6-7%?
6-7%.
6-7%.
And the names are good.
Names are good. That's what I was just going to say.
We have the Mindspace, the Embassy and all. So
there you go, folks. Enough advice for you to mull over and think whether you want to buy a house, whether you want to rent, whether you want to invest. From my guest, Vishal Bhargav. The show is The Tenant. It's on Money Control and on YouTube. Vishal also has a ton of other content on the 01 network where he does what? Weekly shows, daily shows, whatever?
I do weekly podcasts and a lot of other content, yeah.
If you're interested more, believe me, check them all out. They are a must. You will not find many people out there on real estate in independent opinion, which also gets him a lot of flack many times on Twitter, where he is very, very active, taking on a lot of people and doing a lot of masti. But believe me, guys, if you want to know about real estate in India, he's the man, Vishal. That's a wrap on today's episode. My guest, as I said, Vishal Bhargav. Thank you so much for doing this for our audience. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Anupam. Thank you.
Thank you.